Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question. What if I told you that in just 6 months you could completely transform your life? That the decisions you make today, right now, could set you on a path to extraordinary success? Because that's the truth. 6 months of focused effort, 6 months of discipline, 6 months of making the right choices, taking the right steps, and refusing to settle for anything less than your best. And here's the best part. This isn't just theory, it's a formula, a roadmap, a blueprint that, if followed, will lead you straight to the results you've always wanted. Now, I know what you're thinking. 6 months? Can I really change my life in 6 months? And I say absolutely. But here's the catch. You must be willing to do what most people won't. You must be willing to invest in yourself, to push past the old habits, to break free from the patterns that have been holding you back. Because success isn't about luck, it's about decision. It's about taking control of your life instead of letting life control you. It's about making a commitment today, right now, to become better, stronger, wiser than you were yesterday. So where do we start? Step one. Take a hard look at where you are. Not where you wish you are, not where you think you should be, but where you actually are. Because you can't change your destination if you don't know your starting point. Be honest with yourself. Look at your habits, your daily routine, your finances, your relationships, your mindset. Are they serving you or are they holding you back? Because the first step to changing your life is taking responsibility for it. Next, you need a vision. Not just a vague idea of what you want, but a crystal clear picture of where you're going. What does your ideal life look like? How does it feel? Who are you surrounded by? What are you doing? You see, people without a vision drift. They wander through life hoping things will somehow get better. But people with a vision, they move with purpose. They wake up with energy, with excitement, with a reason to keep pushing forward. So get clear. Define your goals. Write them down. Make them real. Because a goal that isn't written is just a wish. And wishes don't change lives. Action does. And that brings us to the next step. The plan. Because a vision without a plan is just a dream, and dreams without action will never become reality. So break it down. What do you need to do every single day to get closer to your goal? Success isn't one big leap. It's a series of small, consistent steps. Want to get in shape? Don't focus on losing 50 pounds. Focus on making the right choices today. Want to build wealth? Start by managing what you already have. Want to master a new skill? Dedicate time every day to learning and improving. Progress is built in the daily disciplines, the small habits, the seemingly insignificant choices that over time create extraordinary results. But here's the challenge, sticking with it. Because it's easy to start. Anyone can be motivated for a day, a week, maybe even a month. But 6 months, that's where the real test begins. The moment you feel like giving up. It's the moment you feel like giving up. Especially when it's easy, but especially when it's hard. That's where champions are made. Because success sits in the magnitude of memory. It's about feeling motivated. It's about showing up, even when you don't feel like it. It's about being unmotivated. It's about showing up. It's being immotivated. It's about showing up. And let's talk about mindset, because nothing will change in your life until you change your thinking, the way you talk to yourself, the beliefs you hold, the expectations you set. Because if you believe success is for other people, that life is just a game of chance, that your circumstances define your future, then you've already lost. But if you believe that you are capable, that you are worthy, that you have the power to shape your destiny, then nothing can stop you. You have to see it in your mind before you can hold it in your hands. Now here's the final piece. Surround yourself with the right people, because no one succeeds alone. You need people in your corner who lift you up, who challenge you, who push you to be better. You see, success leaves clues. Study the greats, learn from those who have walked the path before you, find mentors, read books, listen to those who have already done what you want to do. Because the right information combined with the right mindset and the right action will create unstoppable momentum. So here's my challenge to you. For the next 6 months, commit. Commit to growth. Commit to discipline. Commit to the habits that will lead you to success. Because 6 months from now, you'll either be thanking yourself or wishing you had started today. And the good news? You get to decide. So, decide wisely, because your future is waiting, and it's time to go get it. Let me ask you something. What if I told you that most people never truly fail? No, they simply quit too soon. They stop before the miracle happens. They let doubt, distractions, and setbacks convince them that success is just not meant for them. And that's the tragedy. Because success is never about whether or not you can achieve it. It's about whether or not you'll keep going long enough to see it happen. You see, life has a funny way of testing you. The moment you decide to change, the moment you commit to something bigger than yourself, obstacles will appear. Challenges will arise, you'll feel resistance, and that's where most people turn back. They see struggle as a sign to quit. But the successful, they see struggle as proof they're on the right path. Because nothing worth having comes easy, and if it did, everyone would have it. And here's the thing, 6 months is not a long time, but in those 6 months you will face moments that define you. You will wake up on days when you feel like nothing is working. You will question whether this effort is really worth it. And in those moments you have two choices. You can shrink back into old habits, back into comfort, back into the same routine that got you where you are now, or you can push forward, break through, and rewrite your story. Because transformation isn't found in convenience, it's found in persistence. And the only way to fail is to stop trying. Now, let's talk about something most people overlook, the power of momentum. Success is not about one massive breakthrough. It's not about one lucky moment or one grand opportunity. No. Success is built in the small, seemingly insignificant decisions you make every single day. It's about momentum. It's about stacking win after win, no matter how small. When you wake up early and stick to your plan, win. When you choose discipline over comfort, win. When you take one more step, make one more call, learn one more lesson, win. And over time, those wins add up. They create unstoppable momentum. But here's the secret. Momentum can't build if you keep stopping. If you start and stop, you never gain traction. And without traction, you'll never see the results you want. So decide now, commit to consistency, because consistency beats intensity every time. And let's be clear, 6 months will pass either way. The clock doesn't stop. Time moves forward whether you take action or not. So the real question isn't, can I change my life in 6 months? The real question is, what will my life look like in 6 months if I don't change? Will you be in the same place, making the same excuses, feeling the same frustration? Or will you be standing taller, feeling stronger, proud of the person you've become? That decision is yours to make, and you make it right now in this moment. Because waiting is just another word for wasting. And let's not forget, your environment matters. You cannot grow if you're surrounded by people who refuse to grow. You cannot win if you're taking advice from people who have never won. If you surround yourself with people who complain, who make excuses, who doubt and fear and hold back, guess what? That energy will pull you down. But if you surround yourself with people who inspire you, who push you, who remind you of your potential, then your success is inevitable. So take a hard look at who you spend your time with. Are they helping you or holding you back? Because one of the fastest ways to change your future is to change your circle. And now, I want you to think about something powerful. Imagine it's 6 months from now. Picture yourself having followed through. Picture yourself waking up with confidence, feeling strong, feeling proud. Imagine the weight of regret is gone. Imagine looking back and realizing that the struggle was worth it, that every tough moment, every sacrifice, every late night, every early morning, all of it led you to this place of victory. That feeling, that's what's waiting for you. But only if you start, only if you stay the course, only if you refuse to quit. So I ask you again, what will your life look like 6 months from now? Because that version of you is waiting. And the only thing standing between you and that future is what you choose to do right now. Let me ask you, what if the only thing standing between you and the life you want is a simple shift in mindset? Not talent, not luck, not the perfect timing, just a decision to think differently, to see things from a new perspective, to finally believe that success is not something reserved for the lucky few, but something that is within your reach, because that's the truth. Your mindset is the foundation of everything you do. The way you see the world, the way you see yourself, the way you react to challenges, all of it shapes your reality. And if you want to change your life in 6 months, the first thing you have to do is take control of your thinking. Most people live their lives in a mental prison. They let fear dictate their decisions. They let doubt talk them out of opportunities. They tell themselves stories about why they can't, why it's too late, why they're not good enough. And let me tell you something. If you believe those things, they will become your reality, because the mind is powerful. If you feed it negativity, it will produce failure. But if you feed it belief, confidence, determination, then nothing can stop you. That's why the greatest battle is always fought in the mind. And the moment you decide to think differently, to shift from limitation to possibility, from doubt to certainty, from excuses to action, That's the moment your transformation begins. But here's where most people get it wrong. They wait for proof before they believe. They wait for success before they act successful. They wait for results before they commit. But success doesn't work like that. You have to believe first. You have to commit first. You have to show up, put in the work, and trust that the results will follow. That's why most people never change. They're waiting for a guarantee, for a sign, for the perfect moment. But let me tell you, the perfect moment doesn't exist. The only moment you have is now. And the people who succeed, they're the ones who stop waiting and start doing. Now, let's talk about the power of identity. Because you will always act in alignment with who you believe you are. If you see yourself as someone who struggles, someone who never follows through, someone who's stuck, that will become your reality. But if you start seeing yourself as disciplined, as committed, as someone who does whatever it takes, then your actions will follow. You see, it's not about willpower. It's not about motivation. It's about identity. When you make the shift from I hope I can do this to this is just who I am now, everything changes. Because when something becomes part of your identity, it's no longer a question of if, it's a matter of when. And this is why most people fail. They try to change their actions without changing their beliefs. They force themselves to eat healthy, to wake up early, to work hard. But deep down, they still see themselves as undisciplined, as inconsistent, as someone who just isn't cut out for success. And that's why they keep falling back into old patterns, because your mind will always pull you back to what's familiar, to what feels like home. So if you want to change, you have to redefine what home means to you. You have to make success your new normal. So let me ask you, who do you need to become in the next 6 months? Not just what you need to do, but who do you need to be? Because action follows identity, and the moment you decide that you are the kind of person who wins, who follows through, who doesn't quit, your actions will fall in line, and once that happens, there's no limit to what you can achieve. And let's be real, this isn't easy. Changing the way you think, the way you see yourself, the way you respond to life's challenges, that takes work. It takes awareness. It takes daily effort. But what's the alternative? Staying stuck, living the same year over and over again, waking up 6 months from now, wishing you had started today? No, that's not an option. You have one life, one shot, one opportunity to see what you're truly capable of. So don't waste it. Don't let old beliefs, old doubts, old fears keep you small. Decide right now that you are ready to think differently, to see yourself differently, to step into the person you are meant to be. Because once you change your mindset, everything else falls into place. And once that happens, there's nothing you can't do. Let me ask you something. What if the only thing standing between you and the life you want is your ability to stay consistent? Not talent, not intelligence, not some secret formula, just the simple discipline of showing up every single day and doing what needs to be done. Because here's what separates those who succeed from those who don't. It's not luck, it's not background, it's not who they know, it's consistency. The ability to keep going long after the motivation fades, long after the excitement wears off, long after the initial rush of inspiration is gone. And that's where most people fail. Not because they don't have potential, not because they're not capable, but because they don't stay in the game long enough to see the results. Think about it. How many times have you started something with enthusiasm only to give up when things got hard? How many times have you set a goal only to abandon it when progress wasn't immediate? That's the trap. That's what keeps people stuck. They want results now. They want the rewards without the process. But success doesn't work like that. Success is earned through repetition, through daily discipline, through the unglamorous, unexciting, often boring work that most people aren't willing to do. And that's why most people stay exactly where they are. So let me give you a new perspective. What if instead of chasing instant results, you fell in love with the process? What if instead of focusing on how far you have to go, you focused on what you need to do today? Because here's the truth. The small things you do daily matter more than the big things you do occasionally. Let me say that again. The small things you do daily matter more than the big things you do occasionally. And that's the key to real, lasting success. Most people think success is about big, dramatic changes. They believe they need some massive breakthrough, some overnight transformation, but that's not how it works. Success is built on the little things, the tiny, seemingly insignificant habits that, over time, add up to extraordinary results. Waking up early when you don't feel like it, reading the book instead of watching TV, making the extra sales call, choosing the healthy meal, going to the gym when no one's watching. These are the things that separate the winners from the wishers. Because while most people are waiting for motivation, the successful ones are taking action. And let me tell you something. There will be days when you don't feel like it. There will be days when it's inconvenient, when you're tired, when you're discouraged, when the progress feels slow. But those are the moments that define you. Those are the moments when you have a choice to push forward or to make an excuse. And let me tell you, every time you push forward, you get stronger. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you build resilience. Every time you keep going when most people would quit, you separate yourself from the crowd. But here's the challenge. Most people don't see the results fast enough, so they give up. They go to the gym for a week, and when they don't see a six-pack, they quit. They start a business, and when they don't make a fortune in the first month, they quit. They start a family, build a business, and when they don't make $1 billion, they quit. They try to develop a new skill, and when it doesn't come easy, they quit. But quitting's the only guarantee of failure. And let me tell you, the results always take longer than you expect. Always. But that's where most people get it wrong. They think nothing's happening, when in reality, progress is being made beneath the surface. Think of a bamboo tree. You plant the seed, you water it, you nurture it, but for years, you see nothing. No growth, no results. And most people would give up. But those who keep going, those who trust the process, those who stay consistent, one day they wake up and suddenly the tree shoots up 80 feet in just a few weeks. Now, did the tree really grow overnight? No, it was growing all along, but you couldn't see it. And that's exactly how success works. So let me ask you, are you willing to keep going even when you can't see the results yet? Are you willing to trust the process, to do the work, to stay consistent even when it feels like nothing's happening? Because that's what separates those who win from those who wish. Not luck, not talent, but the ability to stay in the game long enough to reap the rewards. And I promise you this, if you commit to 6 months of relentless consistency, of doing the right things daily, of staying focused, disciplined, and determined, you will be amazed at what you can accomplish. Because the truth is, success isn't about what you do once in a while, it's about what you do every single day. So here's the final question, the most important question of all. Are you ready to commit? Not just for a day, not just for a week, but for 6 months of relentless, disciplined action? Because that's what it's going to take. Not wishful thinking, not hoping for better circumstances, but a rock-solid commitment to show up, to do the work, and to stay the course, no matter what. And let me remind you, 6 months is going to pass no matter what you do. The time will go by anyway. But 6 months from now, you will either be further ahead, stronger, wiser, more successful, or you will be exactly where you are today wishing you had started. That's the reality. And the best part, you get to choose. So choose wisely, choose discipline over distraction, choose action over excuses, choose growth over comfort. Because your future is in your hands, and what you do in these next 6 months will determine where you end up. No one else is going to do it for you. No one else is going to hand you success. But if you decide right here, right now, that you are willing to commit, to push through, to become the person capable of achieving greatness, then I promise you, your life will never be the same. So take the first step. Do it today. And 6 months from now, you'll look back and thank yourself, because success isn't reserved for the lucky. It's earned by those who take action. And now, it's your turn.